on to 3.7. 3.7, we're still working with inequalities, but now we're adding one more thing to it. Isn't that exciting? Today we're going to start with just the equation portion. So 3.7 part 1. And we're going to talk about absolute value equations today. Who can tell me what an absolute value is? What's an absolute value, Ella? Correct. Yes, that's exactly it. It's the distance away from 0. Okay? Of course you can. All right. So when you have those two lines, as Ella described them, that's absolute value. Whatever's happening in here, it is the distance from 0. And when we talk about a distance always has to be positive. That's what those absolute values mean. So this number inside, whether it be positive or negative, it always comes out as positive. So for example, if I'm on a number line at 0, if I'm at -3, or I'm at +3, the distance from -3 to 0 and the distance from 0 to +3 are both 3. There are always going to be, anytime you have an absolute value, 2 answers, no matter what. Okay? Anytime you see an absolute value, there will be 2 answers. So here's how we're going to do it today. Step 1, you're going to isolate the absolute value. Step 2, set inside equal to both positive and negative. Step 3, solve. Super easy. Okay? So what I mean is, we're going to do a super easy one. Let's say I have the absolute value of x plus 4 is equal to 10. The very first thing I have to do is isolate that absolute value. I need to get my absolute value all by itself. So that means I got to get rid of the plus 4. To get rid of plus 4, we subtract 4. So we have the absolute value of x equals 6. Step 2 says you set what's inside equal to both the positive and the negative. So I'm going to take what's inside, which in this case is just x, and I set it equal to the positive, and I set it equal to the negative. So there are always going to be 2 answers. All right? Seem pretty easy? Go ahead, Val. What's your question?
I don't even know.
Well, where did I lose you at? This wasn't any numbers yet. This part right here? Okay, so as soon as I get this box or these lines by themselves, right? There's nothing added to it, nothing multiplied by it. Then I take what it's equal to, and I set it equal to the positive of it, and I set it equal to the negative of it. That's just going to be our steps every time. Let me show you another one. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Here's example number 1. All right, in the first view, it just asks you to solve for the absolute value. So if I have 2 times the absolute value of x equals 10, the very first thing we have to do is isolate the absolute value. I need to get this absolute value by itself, which means 2 is multiplying it. To get rid of it, we divide. We're going to divide both sides by 2. So I have the absolute value of x equals 5. Now that this side is all by itself, I can take what's inside, the x, set it equal to the positive of the right, and set it equal to the negative of the right.
Why was I so confused about this? This is really so easy.
I'm so confused. Well, literally all you do after you're done
Okay.
dividing your x, literally you are not, when you get your question, like 5, you just add a negative.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I do now. Yes. Not that hard. Even I understand. The way you're explaining it makes it even harder. Literally, the absolute value, the x, right there.
Right here.
Then it's x equals 5. Then you just add a negative 5. And then bang, you got 2 answers.
Okay, we got this. All right, let's try another one. I'm going to change it up a little bit on you. So you ready?
Yes.
Example number 2. Okay, what if I had the absolute value of x plus 7 is equal to 3? First of all, my absolute value is already isolated, right? There's nothing added to the absolute value. Everybody agree with that? Nothing times it. Okay. So I'm going to take what's inside my absolute value, just like we did before, x plus 7. I'm going to set it equal to the positive, and I'm going to take what's on the inside and set it equal to the negative. Now I just got to solve both of them.
How does that work? What do you? So like, you don't have to do whatever in the lines and.
We are going to do it right now. Okay? So do you understand how I split it up into 2? Set it equal to the positive and the negative. Okay. So now we're going to solve. Super easy equations to solve. Subtract 7. I have x equals negative 4. Okay, here, subtract 7. I have x equals negative 10.
Are you done explaining or you're not?
No.
Okay.
Okay, listen. So we got 2 answers, right? So I were to take this first one and plug it back into my absolute value. I get negative 4 plus 7 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3, right? If I take negative 10 and plug it in here, negative 10 plus 7 is negative 3. But the absolute value of negative 3 is always positive, so it's still 3. So you've always got to have 2 answers. There's always 2 spots from 0. 0's in the middle. There's always going to be a number on this side and a number on this side that make it work. No? Yes? Let's try another one. Mr. Ford, is there anything that... Okay. Okay. Example number 3. Here we go. All right, let's say I have the absolute value of 2x plus 3 is equal to 15. Okay, so first thing we have to do is isolate the absolute value. I need to get this right here all by itself. So what do I have to get rid of? The 3, right? We got to get rid of the 3. How do I get rid of the 3? It's plus 3 right now. Yep, take away 3 from both sides. All right, so on this side I have the absolute value of 2x is equal to 15 minus 3 is 12. So now the absolute value is isolated. So I'm going to take what's inside the absolute value, and I'm going to take and set it equal to the positive over the right. And I'm going to take what's inside and set it equal to the negative of what's on the right. So I'm always going to have 2. Solve the first one. I divide by the coefficient on x. So I get x equals 6. Solve the second one. I divide by the coefficient on x. I get x equals negative 6. Good.
I like this lesson, but I also don't like this lesson. And it makes sense, but I also don't expect it away.
Well, yeah, I'm still working up to a little bit harder stuff, but it is this easy. It is this easy.
I had it at first, and then we added like 300 more things, so now I
No, I'm not. Here we go. Sample number 4. All right. Let's say I have 3 times the absolute value of 2x plus 1 minus 1 is equal to 2. Oh, hold on. Okay, this is what I need to isolate. Okay, I'm not touching what's inside of there. He's like a jail cell. You don't touch what's inside until he's all by himself. Okay, so now, first thing I have to do is get it by itself. Nope, we can't touch what's inside.
Do we divide by 3?
We will.
Subtract the 3 and the 1.
Okay, hold on. You guys, look at it this way. If this right here was a big X, right? That box was an X. That was my variable. What would I do to solve first? I would add 1 to the other side, right? If I wrote this as 3x minus 1 equals 2, how would I go about solving that? How would I get x by itself? We would add 1 over, right? We would add 1 to the other side. So we'd have 3x equals 3, and then what would we do? Divide by the coefficient on x. Okay, same thing's going to happen up here. I'm going to start by adding 1 because that big absolute value is nothing more than a variable right now. I need to get it by itself. So I'm going to add 1 to the other side. So I have 3 times the absolute value of 2x plus 1 equals 3. Now, just like when we wrote down the equation, need to get the absolute value by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. So I have the absolute value of 2x plus 1 equals 1. So now I've got it isolated. I'm going to take what's inside this absolute value, and I'm going to set it to the positive and set it equal to the negative. So 2x plus 1 equals 1, and 2x plus 1 equals negative 1. Now we just solve both little equations. No, just little equations, right? Here I subtract 1 from both sides. I get 2x equals 0. Divide by 2, and x equals 0. Go over to this one. I subtract 1 from both sides. 2x equals negative 2. Divide by the coefficient on x. And x equals negative 1. Try another one. That was as hard as it got. So right there, we can handle it. It's just little equations to solve. Okay? Sample number 5. Say I have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 2 plus 4 equals 13. Very similar to the one we just did. What do we do first? Correct. Take away 4. Perfect, Mel. So we have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 9. Now what do we do to isolate that absolute value? Divide by 3. Very good. So I have the absolute value of x plus 2 equals 3. Is the absolute value isolated? So, yes, it is. So we're going to take what's inside, because it's all by itself, x plus 2. We set it equal, x plus 2, sorry, my bad. X plus 2, set it equal to the positive of the right, and x plus 2 equals the negative of the right. Now we just solve 2 little equations. First, I subtract 2 to the other side. I get x equals 1. Subtract 2 to the other side. I get x equals negative 5. All right, questions now. Are we doing better? A little bit. Okay, I have 2 things left to talk about. So let me do one more like this, and then one special case, because you always got to have one of those, right? And then I'll be done. So let's go with example. I think I'm on 6, right? Okay, sometimes I lose track while I'm talking. Example 6. Let's go with, oh, I want a good one. How about the absolute value of 3x minus 2 plus 6 is equal to 2. No, I take that back. Let's make it equal to 12. Let's make it equal to 12. We'll add a 1 in front. All right. Tell me what's the very first thing we have to do. Subtract 6. Very good. Subtract 6. And the absolute value of 3x minus 2 equals 6. Is the absolute value by itself? It is. So what's the first thing I set up? 3x minus 2 equals a positive. What's the other one I set up, Val? 3x minus 2 equals the negative. All right, let's go ahead and solve the first one. I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I have 3x equals 8. Divide both sides by the coefficient on x. I get x equals 8/3. It's okay, it's just an answer. Over here, I'm going to add 2 to both sides. I get 3x equals negative 4. Divide by the coefficient on x. And x equals negative 4/3. Same process over and over and over. And this is as hard as they get. It's okay. It'll be all right. Yes, absolutely. All right, special case. If I have an absolute value of anything equal to a negative number, let's say negative 7. Absolute value means it's got to be positive. So if this is what it looks like before you split it up, if it's equal to a negative number before you split it up, it is no solution. Because no matter what number I put in here for x, I can't get it to equal a negative 7. It comes out positive. Okay? So, here's example 7, and then I'll be all done. So I have the absolute value of 3x minus 5 plus 7 equals 4. All right, I'm going to go ahead and solve it. First thing we have to do is isolate our absolute value. Take away 7. I agree. All right. So I have the absolute value of 3x minus 5 is equal to negative 3. This is where I go ahead and split it up. But you'll notice it's equal to a negative number. So I can't do a positive and a negative. What do I have to put? No solution. That's it. That's it. Any questions? Anybody at all? Okay, so we have about 20 minutes. You only have 11 problems for homework. That's it, just 11. First couple are super, super easy. 10 to 30 even? It's 11. Yeah.
It's not October anymore.